sunrise in the middle of Strzelecki track. The very cool truck driver with a big road train, a nice Kenworth truck. Our little car. Well, good morning. Very early morning. It is about 6 a.m. on the 27th of December, so the day after Boxing Day. And I'm standing here about 150 k's northeast of Lyndhurst. We left Inaminka at about 8:20 last night once we were able to get fuel from the lovely couple who were caretaking it so that we could actually get on our way, because it's the only fuel stop for about 500 kilometres. So we ended up going a lot of the way through the night, and mid-morning we decided we would pull up and sleep on the side of the road over here. And then, because we felt quite safe, there was a lovely truck driver here. Anyway, this morning as we woke up to this amazing sunrise, but hang on, before the sunrise, the stars, when I woke up at about, 4 a.m, were incredible. You don't see that in the city, just absolutely beautiful. So then, when we had a little bit more sleep and woke up, this lovely truck driver from Outback Logistics, he was sort of having a stretch, so we said good morning, and he made us a cup of coffee, and we had some milk and he didn't have milk. And he's having a chat to Mark. He's been driving for over 50 years, and this truck is incredible. So he's got 6 20-foot containers on the back. Lovely, lovely guy. People just so friendly out this area. But we are now on our way, and we're going to be heading to Lyndhurst. We're a little bit behind our schedule, but that's okay, because Missy's still pretty happy. She's been out for a little bit of a wander, but she's too much of the good life and she likes getting back into bed. But she's back in the truck. So we will head on the road and show you a little bit more later, but just a breathtaking way to start the morning with this sunrise. Just gorgeous. Oh, thanks for our coffee. Thumbs up. Good morning.
Good morning. Going to throw a little bit of extra fuel in the car. It was a long night drive last night.
And we carried extra just in case we needed it.
Well, you're never to be too careful out here.
Yep.
Far better off taking the precautions. If you don't need it, you don't use it. It's fine.
Yep. And we got plenty of fuel, but what's the reason that you're taking the Jerry out now and topping up?
Well, diesel, if you spill it a lot, and especially with the carpeted floors and that sort of stuff, leaves a bit of a bad smell on the back of the car. So it's much easier now to take it out, and you know where you stand with your fuel status, because like you can see on top of the jerry can here, although she's been sitting there all night, still a little bit of diesel residue around there. So we'll get that out and throw it in the tank. And
don't you love the rumble?
Yeah, it sounds a bit like an earthquake, doesn't it?
That is just the road train.
And the mountain of dust following it.
Yeah. But so peaceful out here. And so apparently with today being Sunday the 27th, that it could possibly be another public holiday. They call it Boxing Day Proclamation Day. Isn't it? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, Proclamation Day.
And out here, you got to watch, because some of them will just close up and see you later.
That's it, heading back into town.
Oh, so you're letting the air, the other bit that you've got open.
So the back section there allows the vacuum through. So it's a little bit of a slow process, and the jerry can gets a bit heavy, but...
Lucky you're strong. Our car looks really big now, but when the truck was here, it looked really tiny. Yeah. It's like...
Have a look at the dust pattern that he's leaving out there.
Oh my goodness. Wow. And he was really great because he even told us what the road was like, which bits to take care with. Because if you're going to do a road like this...
Yeah, talk to everyone you can. You really want to know what the road conditions are like, because there's some spots out here that the road gets really soft, and if you're going too fast and you hit those soft spots, you might be able to see it in the camera. There's 3 of them just behind us here. One just behind the car, one at the bottom of the ridge line there, and one just at the crest of the hill.
Oh yeah.
If you hit one of those when you're going too fast, you can lose control of the vehicle pretty quickly. So this guy's been, who we're talking about at the rigs, he's been travelling these roads for the last 50 years, and the biggest cause of problems out here is people going too fast and just inexperience in road handling and just going too fast.
Yeah, like what would normally you would do 100 kilometres, you need to do about 80.
Yeah.
And they've had a bit of rain, and there, how much? It was 20 mils of rain. 20
mils of rain, they shut the road for 3 days. And the big rigs like what we've just had here, they can't get through. It's just too slippery on the roads for them.
How's that weight going?
Oh, it's getting lighter. That's a good part about it.
And you still wipe the top, don't you?
Yeah. Best friend in the Outback, Chuck's cloths. They're cheap, easily disposable. Allow you to clean stuff up wherever you need to.
You got a few flies on your back. Hang on, I might be able to get this. There's at least 10 flies. At least. We're definitely heading soon.
Just to escape the flies.
It's like, yeah, you got to have the windows down for a little bit and go, get out, fly, get out. Last night we had a few moths even in the car, and they were just determined to stay with us. But even the windscreen, you're going to have to wipe that down. Let's have a look at the front. There's a lot of bug splatter. And with our sensor on the front, this has got to be cleaned every day. Otherwise we can't even do any sort of cruise control at any point. Look at him go, cleaning it up.
Well, good point is take care of your gear, and your gear will take care of you.
Bit cleaner now. Look at that. And these here, these were flying cobwebs. Never seen anything like it. They would have been about, some of them were 2 meters long, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they look like they come off like Santa Claus or something like this. Bit of white. Fairy floss, and yeah. And they just flew flying across the front. I couldn't capture it on film. It was classic.
Driving in conditions like this, there's a few things to consider. First of all, is you need to have a pretty good idea of what your vehicle's capable of, and one of the key elements is probably the ground clearance. You want to know how much room underneath the car you actually have. Now in these sort of road conditions, you've got to be looking for effectively your line. You've got to pick a line that you're going to travel through whatever the obstacle is that's in front of you. And the way you identify that line is you're looking at the discoloration in the road to start with. You can see across the left-hand side here how much darker it is. That's obviously wet clay or some sort of chopped up dirt. Sometimes it can just be shadow, and and that's fine as long as you adjust your driving to suit those standards. So you're looking for the smoothest line to transition. Now take into consideration there as well, you can see the ruts in front of us, which are basically the channels that the actual other vehicles in front of you have cut into the actual road surface. You can tell by the darker shadowed areas that they've been wet, and that's where the tyre ruts are quite deep. You get stuck in those, especially if you're at speed, you can get thrown off course quite quickly. So a couple of things to remember with that is when you're driving with your steering wheel, make sure your thumbs are outside the steering wheel. You don't lock your thumbs in, because if the steering wheel does get taken out of your hand, you can tear your thumbs off quite easily or break your thumbs. When you're looking at the road surface as well, you've got the corrugations which run across the road, so basically in our axis of advance. So you can see we're coming up on a point now where it's clearly wet all the way through there. So I've just dropped back to less than 30 kilometers an hour to go over that obstacle. It's just not worth hitting it at speed, because you don't know how soft the dirt's going to be. When you're travelling over the corrugations, you want to be travelling somewhere between, well, ideally 80 kilometres an hour, but sometimes the road surface just doesn't accommodate that. But it just goes a little bit easier on the suspension. You skip across the top of the corrugations, but you're constantly adjusting your speed, because full gravel sections like what we just went through there, although it's gravel, can still be quite soft and can affect the steering and suspension really heavily. So really you've got to treat every obstacle as something that you've got to anticipate and expect the worst from, and adjust your speed accordingly. The one big rule, don't go too fast. Just allow yourself enough time and just take it easy. Just don't go too fast. If you're an inexperienced driver, throw an extra 4 hours on the trip. It really doesn't matter. If you get there a little bit earlier, stop and have a glass of wine or a hamburger or whatever it is that takes your fancy. Better that than getting a damaged vehicle and getting stuck somewhere in the outback.
Emu crossing the road. Oh, he's on the run. Welcome to Flinders Ranges.
Lyndhurst, they've got coffee.
Woohoo! And we're coming into the little town of Lyndhurst. We have no idea of the population, but we know there's a hotel, which we believe he's gone away.
It kind of looks that way. Welcome to Lyndhurst. A taste of the outback. Yeah, pub shut. Pub's definitely shut.
Yeah, he was right though, hey? Look, the hotel. I feel like we're going on a road trip from Priscilla, way in the desert. So these must be the accommodation.
So IOR, they're diesel supply company. We talked to one of the drivers who was running a road train, so that's 3 tanks to fill up all the stations. They also service all of the mining area. And IOR are actually starting up an app that will allow you to effectively pay as you go, because currently the system works on a tag-based system. So you get on the internet, you connect up, you get an account created, they send you out a tag, and that'll allow you just to tap and go basically on the fuel pumps. But unfortunately at the moment we didn't know about it, didn't find any information on the internet about it, had no idea, and that sort of put us in the position where we're now paying for whatever the fuel stops are. Like the Lyndhurst Hotel here, they sell fuel but they're closed because it's Christmas. The IOR you could tap and go, so that's something we'll look at as we move forward to get an account. But if they get online, it'll be really good, because literally you can open the account straight away, put your credit card details in, and it gives you a code that you can punch into the system here and just get fuel. And fuel here is 155.5. So it's a lot cheaper. We just paid $1.90 per litre at Inaminka.
So we found in Lyndhurst, this is the first time, yep. We've got a 24-hour fuel station, and you're going to put in the amount you want to fill up. So we're taking a little bit of a punt. We worked out maybe we want about 25 litres, but we're going to go about 20 litres. and it's at $1.50. So this is Perry's Fuel Distribution. 24-hour fuel. Even got a Telstra box. And then you come back over to the pump.
Pump number 1, isn't it? On the other side.
I think it's the only pump. It's just pump 1. Yeah. Yeah, there's only one pump working. Wow. Sign's gone down though. Feels pretty hot when I was just standing there in the one spot. So I made a phone call back to my dad because it's free. This phone box, I mean, so many people don't even know what a phone box is like. This is what we grew up on. 24th of December to the 1st of January, free calls. But it's too hot to stand there and call everybody. Come on, Missy. So we're going to go over to the park. Well, not park, this little spot over here. Walk down the main street. Next service back there, it says Inaminka 473. So that's what we've come overnight. Oh, there is one car down here, but we got nice toilets. Murnamora Station. 140 kilometres. Cabins, powered sites. We're just walking along. Hey, Missy, keep going. I'm going to follow Dad. I'm going to go over in the shade. Here he is. Don't leave us. Okay, ready to cross over? Good girl. We'll get you some water. It's only early in the morning, otherwise we would put booties on her so it's not too hot. You never want to walk your dog in the middle of the day. You're just going to burn their feet. If you wouldn't walk on it, then don't put them through it. Here we go. We got nice toilets. I have to say, all the public toilets and stuff are really nice. Managed by the Outback communities. We've seen that sign a lot. Donation box. Look at this, a little bit of shade. Now this is nice. Oh, this is much cooler. Oh, it shows the Strzelecki track. Here we go. Lyndhurst. Situated at the southern end of the iconic Strzelecki track, which leads to Cooper Creek and Inaminka. And the Oodnadatta track, which heads north. The small settlement, once known as Lyndhurst Siding, owes its existence to the narrow gauge, Port Augusta to Government Gums Farina Railway, which was completed in 1882. It was believed that the railway station was known briefly as Red Hill Station. Lyndhurst was gazetted as a town in 1896 and initially served as a freight centre for the railway. Oh, it was, here we go. This tells you a bit more about the Strzelecki track. A major unsealed outback highway takes its name from the Strzelecki Creek, named by Captain Charles Sturt in 1845 after the Polish scientist, philanthropist and Eastern States explorer Paul Edmund Strzelecki, we said it too many times today, who climbed and named Mount Kosciuszko, a long way from Lyndhurst. There you go. Someone's having his morning shave. Sorry about that noise, but he's got his bits out. We'll give Missy some water now. What are you doing, Zooty?
So we collected a bit of bull dust along the way.
What's bull dust?
Bull dust is, well, dust that's just bull. Very fine powdery dust.
But it's off the road?
So, yeah, you collect it in off the road. And so we're just de-dusting because we don't want it inside. No. Done quite well though, because when you look inside, you have a look at the top of the fridge there. There's a little bit on there, but it's not real bad.
Now, you leave the windows open, and I was like, why do you leave the windows open?
So, creates a reverse vacuum. So, the wind's coming in through the front window, putting pressure on the back, because unfortunately, sealing up the back of the Ranger is a bit of a challenge. I did put extra seal in, which is, this bubble type seal that you can see through here, but you can see the bull dust is entering in, across the bottom here. There's a couple of spots where obviously it's not real sealed very well, so bull dust very difficult to keep out, but we've done quite well. I'm pretty happy with it all. Why do they call it bull dust though? It's just fine dust. I don't know why they call it bull dust.
So you're just not making bull up?
Just not making bull up, no, not on this one. Plenty of other things to do, but not on this one. Anyway, that'll do for today.
We're good now. We've teeth cleaned, shaved, dogs had some water.
Did my morning routine. There's some more bull dust for you.
Yeah. Let's go.
Welcome to Lyndhurst, population 30, most days.
Oh, and that's where we stopped over here. Okay, bye Lyndhurst. Here we go. Hi Porpoise Spit. Parachilna. Apparently there's a good pub there. We're going to check that out. Might be even open. Never know. We're in a little town. We're now on the Outback highway. And you can see now the range in the distance. Blue sky. This is the start of the Flinders range, I believe. Next one is RM Williams Way. That's a classic. But that's not for 185 kilometres. Welcome to Parachilna, Outback. Yeah, look at them all. Do a little loop down there? Yeah, so they paint up the front of the donga. Where did the word donga come from? Because you had one growing up, Mark. That sounds weird. You had a donga growing up, and at your folks' property, they had a donga. Explain a donga.
I don't really know where the ancestry comes from, but we know it as just a worker's hut. Usually, it's a 20-foot container broken into 2 or 3 rooms.
Ah.
I'm not like I'm getting my bacon and eggs in.
No. It looks like the town is shut. The defib over in the corner. We have another telecom phone. We could call someone. I love it. So this is the camping. Is it like an old water tank? And then it's wired off. And it was saying g'day from Parachilna in the background. And then we've got a little school, the Parachilna Rural School. Oh look, another one. Look kids, you can play in that old water tank. It's not dangerous at all. There you go. Just make sure you're rugged up. Put your what is it? PEP gear on. PPE. Gosh, special. Personal protective equipment. We got garbage bins. Now wait for it. We are coming up to the famous Prairie Hotel. Got a bit of fuel, which I don't think is working at all. Here's the Prairie. This is the famous Prairie, licensed since 1876. And it's been refurbed on the back. We know of lots of friends who've been here and said it's really lovely. And wait for it, the accommodation is out the back and it's something like hundreds of dollars a night. But you are in the middle of nowhere. And see, it's all refurbed at the back here, it looks lovely. Missy thought she would get the breeze and give you a bit of a huff there. Note to self.
Don't expect bacon and eggs at Parachilna on Christmas.
Well, we're not Christmas, we are the 27th, but we believe that a lot of these towns shut down from Christmas Eve until sometime in January. Note to self. Okay, we're going to go up here. We're going to farewell. closed. Sorry, closed for summer. Be back 25th of February. 25th of February.
Sorry, I bought some beef jerky and while she was going off I thought I'd have some.
And Missy's waiting for Daddy like a loyal